Hi everyone, good afternoon. So today, ang i-discuss naman natin is all about dyslexia. So last time na-discuss na natin ang challenge learners and ADHD. So ngayon naman, punta tayo sa dyslexia. Ano nga ba ang dyslexia? So bago tayo mag-start, kung bago ka pa lang sa YouTube channel ko, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell button para ma-notify ka sa next na video kong gagawin. Okay, let's start. What is dyslexia? So, according to the World Federation of Neurologists, 1968, a disorder in children who, despite conventional classroom experience, fail to attain the language skills of reading, spelling commensurate with their intellectual abilities. And the U.S. National Institutes of Health said that dyslexia is a learning disability that can hinder a person's ability to read, write, spell, and sometimes speak. Okay. So in short, dyslexia, ito yung nararanasan ng mga bata na nahihirapan sila magbasa due to problems identifying speech sounds and nahihirapan sila kung paano nauugnay yung mga titik and yung salita. So, I'll give an example. So, yung tumatak talaga na magandang example nito sa akin is yung napanood ko na Every Child is Special. So, sobrang naantig talaga yung puso ko dito nung napanood ko to, no? And kung hindi niyo pa to napapanood, I recommend na ipanoodin niyo po ito. And every time na napapanood ko to, grabe, iiyak talaga ako. So, ayun nga, yung bida dito is si Ishan. He is suffering from dyslexia. So, as I said a while ago, nahihirapan nga siya magbasa and magsulat. So, para bang ang nakikita niya sa letters and numbers is parang sumasayaw, gumagalaw, yung mga ganun. And pag nagsusulat siya ng mga letters and numbers, ay kadalasan nababaliktad niya yon. Like yung B nagiging D, and yung M nagiging W. Ayan. So, yung mga batang may dyslexia ay may posibilidad din na magkaroon sila ng ADHD. So, yung diniscuss natin last time. So, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And yung ADHD naman ay maaaring maging cause din siya ng dyslexia na mas mahirap gamutin. Ano po? So, vice versa lang po sila. Next. So, ayan. History of dyslexia. So, in 1877, the reading and spelling difficulties characteristic of dyslexia today were first identified by Adolf Kussmaul, so a German professor of medicine. So, tinatawag niya po itong word blindness, such as difficulties were believed incorrectly to stem from some form of ocular deficit. And noong 1887 naman, a German ophthalmologist, Rudolf Berlin, was the first to use the word dyslexia. So, sa halip na word blindness, pinalitan niya yon ng dyslexia. So, from the Greek meaning, difficulty with words. Okay, next. So, now let's go to the types of dyslexia. So, first is the triuma dyslexia. So, usually occurs after some form of brain trauma or injury to the area of the brain that controls reading and writing. So, karaniwang nangyayari siya after some form of brain trauma or injury to the area of the brain that controls reading and writing. So, kapag ang isang adult or child has a brain injury from trauma, so nahihirapan sila mag-language processing. The next one is primary dyslexia. This type of dyslexia is a dysfunction of, rather than damage to, the left side of the brain, cerebral cortex, and does not change with age. Individuals with this type are rarely able to read above a fourth grade level and may struggle with reading, spelling, and writing as adults. So, primary dyslexia is passed in family lines through their genes, so hereditary. It is found more often in boys than in girls. So, primary dyslexia, ito yung namamana mo sa iyong parents. For example, if your parent has a dyslexia, So, mamamana mo rin yun. Nagbubulol na ako. And sabi nga dito, mas madalas itong matagpuan sa mga lalaki kaysa sa mga babae. Next is developmental dyslexia. So, a third type of dyslexia is referred to as secondary or developmental dyslexia and is felt to be caused by hormonal problems during the early stages of fetal development. Developmental dyslexia diminishes as the child matures. It is also more common in boys, so dyslexia may affect several different functions. Okay, so dahil nga sa mga infections and sometimes poor nutrition sa sinapupunan mo, so habang nagbubuntis ka, yung baby mo is makaka-experience ng brain development issues na maaaring mag-cause ng dyslexia. Okay, next. So, symptoms of dyslexia. Okay, first is difficulty seeing similarities and differences in letters and words. So, ayun na nga. Kasi 'di ba, nahihirapan sila i-identify kung ano yung letter B sa letter D. Okay? Next, difficulties with spelling. Ayan, so hirap din sila sa pag-i-spell ng mga salita. Next, avoiding activities that involve reading. Ayan, so katulad nga ni Ishan, diba, dun sa binigay ko na example kanina, one of his teacher, pinabasa siya ng isang sentence, kaso sabi niya, the letters are dancing daw. So, akala ng mga classmate niya and ng teacher niya is nagjo-joke lang siya. Pero po, hindi. So, hindi niya talaga alam basahin. And dahil doon, nagalit yung teacher niya and pinalabas siya sa classroom, 'di ba? So, tingnan natin yung nangyari. So, ang sakit isipin na makita na teacher ka tapos, 'di ba, ganun yung pinapakita mong act without knowing na may problem yung student mo. So, hindi nila alam 'yon. So, importante talaga na una pa lang, alamin mo na agad and i-observe na natin yung mga students natin para maging aware din tayo and alam natin yung ating mga gagawin. Next, mispronunciation of longer words. And next, writing letters or numbers backwards. So, dito share ko lang. Yung pamangkin ko minsan, nakikita ko siya na sinusulat niya name niya and yung mga numbers na pa backwards. So, magi-grade 1 na siya ngayon. And ayun nga, tinatanong ko siya bakit nababaliktad niya. So, sabi niya sa akin, ay sorry tita, nalilito po kasi ako. And hanggang sa everyday na nagsusulat siya ng name niya and mga numbers, katabi niya ako. At lagi ko pinapaalala sa kanya kung ano yung proper way ng pagsulat ng name niya and yung ibang letters and numbers. And ayun, ngayon hindi na siya po nalilito. So, ganun lang. Kailangan lang nila ng support and yung feeling na parang nafe-feel nila na andyan ka para sa kanila. So, ganun. So, parang gina-guide natin sila kasi syempre, bata pa sila and they really need that. So, and last is confusion over left and right. Ayan. Okay, causes of dyslexia. Dyslexia tends to run in families. So it appears to be linked to certain genes that affect how the brain processes reading and language, as well as risk factors in the environment. So malinaw na malinaw po na dyslexia tends to run in families. Okay, next. Dyslexia risk factors include a family history of dyslexia or other learning disabilities, premature birth or low birth weight, exposure during pregnancy to nicotine, drugs, alcohol, or infection that may alter brain development in the fetus, and last, individual differences in the parts of the brain that enable reading. Okay, next. Okay, complications. Okay, trouble learning. So, we all know naman that reading is a skill basic to most other school subjects. So, sa mga batang may dyslexia, is disadvantage sa kanila yun. and nahihirapan sila doon. Next is social problems. So, left untreated, ang dyslexia ay maaaring mag-lead to low self-esteem, behavior problems, anxiety, aggression, and withdrawal from friends, parents, and teachers. Next ay ang problems as adults. So, the inability to read and comprehend can prevent a child from reaching his or her potential as the child grows up. Ayan, so ito ay maaaring magkaroon ng long-term educational, social, and economic consequences. Next is diagnosis. So, dyslexia is a difficult disorder to diagnose exactly. So, several general diagnosis method includes classroom observation, developmental, medical, behavioral, academic, and family history, information on cognitive processing, tests of specific language skills, educational tests to determine level of functioning in basic skills. Okay, next. So, treatment. So, an evaluation must be done to determine the child's specific area of disability. So, okay, treatment of dyslexia ideally involves planning between the parents and the teachers. Ayan, tama to kasi 'di ba, mas madali natin masosolusyonan yung ganitong problema kapag ang parents and teacher ay nagtutulungan. So, para aware din sila. And next may be implemented in a special education setting or in the regular classroom. And most important aspect of any treatment plan is attitude. Next, there are also several therapies for the medical treatment. Ayan, so bukod sa mga to, may mga possible solution din tayo na pwede nating gawin. So, next. So, possible solution. Una is what parents can do. So, step 1, address the problem early. Ayan, so kung ikaw na parents, nakita mo yung anak mo na parang may kakaiba sa kanya kapag nagbabasa siya or nagsusulat, pumunta ka na agad sa doktor para maagapan yung ganitong problema. So, early intervention can improve success. And read aloud to your child. So, may nabasa ako na it is the best daw if you start reading aloud to your child na mga 6 months old or mas bata pa daw. Para habang bata pa sila, napapa-familiarize na nila yung mga words at yung sound ng words na yon. So, subukan din natin yung makinig ng mga recorded books kasama sila. So, kapag naman yung anak nyo is nasa hustong gulang na, pwede kayong magbasa ng mga stories together para napopractice din siya, okay po? And step 3 is work with your child's school. Ayan. So, talk to your child's teacher kung paano siya matutulungan ng paaralan to make him or her succeed. Step 4, encourage reading time. Ayan. So, to improve your child's reading skills, kailangan mag-practice sila palagi magbasa. And, of course, encourage mo din sila magbasa. Step 5, set an example for reading. So, pakita mo sa iyong anak na ang pagbabasa ay hindi boring. And ito ay masaya. Ano po? So, dito naman tayo sa coping and support. So, step 1, be supportive and talk to your child. So, di ba, trouble learning to read may affect your child's self-esteem, di ba? So, kaya dapat make sure na in-express mo yung love and support mo sa kanya and encourage mo siya sa pamamagitan ng pagpupuri mo sa kanya like, wow, ang galing naman ng mahal ko ayan, very good, dahil dyan may kiss ka kay mommy, or may ibibigay sa'yo na food si mommy, or laruan, syempre, ganyan. So, talk to your child, explain mo sa kanya kung explain mo sa kanya kung ano ang dyslexia at hindi ito isang kabiguan para, 'di ba, para magtigil ka sa pag-aaral mo or hindi mo na papakita yung mga kakayahan mo sa isang bagay. So, step 2. Take steps to help your child learn at home. So, ayan, gumawa tayo ng mga hakbang para matulungan natin yung mga anak nyo. So, mag-provide tayo sa kanila ng malinis and yung organized na place for your child to study. And magbigay ka din ng oras sa kanya kung anong oras siya mag-aaral. Also, make sure din na your child gets enough rest and eats regular, mga healthy meals. Ayan. Step 3, ayan, limit screen time. So, wag natin masyado silang ibabad sa mga electronic screen. So, ayun, limit lang po. Ano po? And step 4, stay in contact with your child's teachers. So, makipag-usap din tayo sa kanilang mga teachers. Makibalita tayo kung kamusta na ba sila sa kanilang pag-aaral, ano yung progress nila, and pwede mo din tanungin yung teacher ng anak mo kung pwede i-record mo yung ile-lesson niya ngayon para, 'di ba, sa bahay, mai-play mo ulit yun. Number 5, step 5, join a support group. Ayan. So, makakatulong ito sa'yo na makipag-ugnayan ka sa mga magulang na may mga anak din na may dyslexia. So, sa pamamagitan nito, they can provide you useful information and emotional support. Okay, next tayo. So, I have here example of famous people with dyslexia. So, isa na dito si Albert Einstein. So, isa siyang physicist, no? So, Albert Einstein, the most influential physicist of the 20th century was dyslexic. So, he loved mathematics and science, but he disliked grammar and always had problems with spelling. So, the headmasters of Albert's school suggested he should attend a trade school, and his teachers reportedly declared him as borderline intellectually impaired. So, though as a child and teenager, Einstein showed signs of brilliance and creativity in his interest in geometry, he also showed signs of weaknesses in speech and verbal development, as well as several school subjects. And, syempre, naniniwala ang mga teachers ni Einstein na wala daw mangyayari sa kanya, 'di ba? Sabi nga dito, nothing would become of the boy his teachers believed. Pero po, si Einstein ay nagpatuloy pa rin sa kanyang pag-aaral at ngayon kilala na siya ng lahat, 'di ba? And he also won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. So kita niyo 'yon? Hindi naman porket may kapansanan ka, hindi ibig sabihin nun is wala ka ng kakayahan sa isang bagay or hindi ka na magiging successful sa buhay. At kung sino pa nga yung may kapansanan, sila pa yung gifted, 'di ba? Hindi niyo ba napapansin? O ang gagaling nila sa ibang mga subjects, sa mga arts, and super creative pa sila. And syempre, sobrang talino. And yung iba, diba, successful sila sa kanilang mga writing careers. So, kailangan lang talaga nila ng support and guidance. And wag natin sila susukuan. Kasi, diba, tayo as a future educator, it is our job to improve the skills and abilities of our students. And syempre, pa-feel din natin sa kanila na importante sila and love natin sila. Kasi, the way we treat children reflects on them as well. Okay po? Okay. Ayan, so bago tayo magtapos, may sinama po ako ditong quotes. Ayan, so imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Ayan. So, ayan, I hope marami po kayong natutunan. I hope nakinig kayo. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye!